one of the biggest struggles I see amongst Canadian immigrants is trying to figure out how to budget on a Canadian salary while saving to buy a home here in Canada. Now think about it. With high rent, daily expenses, and the cost of living always going up, it can feel impossible to put money aside for a down payment. But trust me, it is 100% possible. I've done it myself, and so can you. Now, in today's video, I'm going to walk you through a simple budgeting system that will help you to manage your salary, cut unnecessary expenses, and still save for your dream home in Canada. Does that sound like something that you're interested in? Let me know in the comment by typing yes. So if you're interested in home ownership, please continue to watch this video until the end. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel to learn more financial and real estate tips. Now, I want to hear from you before I start. Comment below and let me know what is your biggest financial challenge here in Canada when it comes on to money management. Let's be real. Canada is expensive. From the living expenses, between rent, groceries, even sending money back home to our relatives, man, it is a lot. And it feels like there is nothing left for us to save. You know, for many immigrants, we move here thinking that life will be much better financially. But as we settle and as we start thriving, you know, instead of surviving, we realize how quickly that money goes by and how hard it is to try to survive, to do all the things we came here for a better life to do, but yet still at some point we find that it is challenging to afford to do so, which includes also purchasing a home. And you know what's funny? We weren't taught about financial literacy. We weren't taught about investing and all the important stuff when it comes on to building wealth, money management, and all that good stuff. We were not taught, right? So now when we move from our country, our home country, to our first world country where there is so much, our eyes want everything that we see, right? We get trapped in that space of wanting, spending, and then we get trapped in living above our means. Does that sound familiar to you? Right? As our income increases, our expenses also increases, right? We're upgrading the car. We start eating out. We start buying all the name brand clothes and expenses. And before you know it, we're living above our means, buying things we aren't prepared to buy, trying to keep up with the Joneses who have been here, settled in Canada for how much years on top of years, right? Not knowing that they are not in a better financial position because you're looking at them from the outside. You don't know their finances. You don't know their struggles behind what you see, right? So you cannot compare yourself to others. Try and focus on your financial life, right? On your finances. So I want you to make a plan, make it a goal, avoid these mistakes, avoid these money traps here in Canada as an immigrant. Now, let's get even further into this video. With the right budget, you can control your money instead of making your money control you. Now, before I show you this budgeting method, I want you to promise me one thing, just one thing. No excuses, right? Zero excuses, because if you follow this budgeting method, it works and you will see some financial success if you follow this. So you're going to use the 50-30-20 rule. This budgeting strategy works, but you have to commit to make it work for you. So here's what you're going to do. So that 50% is for your needs. You're going to use that 50% to cover your most important needs, which includes rent, your utilities, your groceries, and transportation. And don't forget your insurance. Yes, you need insurance for that car that you're driving. You know, back home, we usually do insurance in Jamaica annually. Here in Canada, most of us do it monthly. So you have to budget in for that. So you have to budget in for your insurance also. That's a part of your needs. Now for that 30%, you're going to budget for your wants, right? The needs, high priority. The wants, second priority. Now this includes your entertaining, your eating out, your shopping, and your subscription services, because we know we want to live, have a little life also. We don't want to be just paying bills, and not having fun and not enjoying life. So rather than paying too much in that bracket of wants, you're going to give more money to the needs and less to the wants. Next is that 20%. Now, this 20% is going to be for your savings, for your investing, for your down payment of your house, yes, and for saving that emergency fund. You will need about 3 to 6 months of your living expenses for emergency funds. And if you cannot afford 3 to 6 months, start off with at least 1 month emergency fund. At least you have some money, because remember, you're an immigrant, right? You don't have mommy, daddy, sister, uncle to call, and if something goes wrong, right, you have to maybe send to your family back home to send money here for you. So make sure to have some cushion so that you can have something for emergency if it arises. If your expenses are too high, then you have to do some adjustment within this budget. You might have to look within the subscription services that you don't need. You might have to look within how you can cut back on your grocery, maybe do more bulk shopping, maybe prepare meal planning, do meal planning so that you are aware of the things you need to buy rather than spontaneously going to the grocery store like every day when you need to cook something, or spontaneously eating out when you did not plan on eating out that specific day. So look, if it is too much, things are too expensive, and see where you can make some necessary adjustment to your budget. Just a pro tip. You see, just like how you have your bills that are non-negotiable, you have to pay your hydro bill, you have to pay your car note, you have to pay your rent. Now you're going to treat your saving account as just as a non-negotiable bill. Now, in order to make this easier on you, you're going to set up auto deposits for your savings. And I've spoken about this in several of my videos. So you're going to maybe go to your employment, your HR department, your credit union, wherever you bank, and set up some auto deposits so that when you get your salary on that day, whatever money, whether you put $200 bi-weekly, $300 bi-weekly, whatever you choose, it goes directly to that account, and you don't have a debit card accessing that account. You just leave it for saving, for your emergency, for investing, right? So that's what that money is left there for. Let's move on to the next step. You're going to start tracking where your money is going. Yes, you need to know where those top, where are they going, right? So now you're going to track every dollar for 30 days, for 1 month. Most of us, we spend and we don't know where the money is going. I was doing this and I stopped doing it, but now I started doing it again. Since 2025, I've been tracking every dollar. And you know what? Recently, I was going through my credit card statements, and I realized that there was a payment made that I wasn't aware of, right? And this was our joint account with my husband. And when I spoke with him, he realized that this payment came out twice. So if I didn't check and see where the money is going, I wouldn't realize that this purchase, this payment that he made, it came out twice. So he had to call and rectify that. So not that you're tracking, not your budget only, but making sure that there is no fees or purchases that you're not aware of coming out of your account. So how are you going to do this? You can use paper, hard paper. You write down each week, you write down, go through your bank statements, your debit account, your bank account, and you write them down. Or you can use apps, you can use trackers, spenders. There are several different things that you can use to track your finances. And why are you tracking this? Again, so that you can identify where money leaks, where money is leaking in, where it's not supposed to leak in. You can track and see how much you're spending on eating out, how much you're swiping each day for breakfast, for buying coffee, for going to Timmy's, for going to Starbucks, how much you're spending on clothes, how much you're spending on things that are not your needs, right? But things that can wait, right? Tracking and knowing and being aware of the money, where the money is going, so that you can redirect to say, I don't need to spend so much here. Let me put it over here. Or you know what? I can put a little more in the saving. So you can have an idea of where it is going so that you can redirect it to where you want it to go. Got it? Type got it in the comments so that I know that you're with me. Next, you're going to reduce your expenses without feeling miserable. And what I mean by without feeling miserable, again, we need a little fun. We need life, right? Budgeting doesn't mean suffering, but it means intentional spending. And I wasn't budgeting at one point because I thought it was just controlling, like, withholding me having the flexibility to do the things I want to do, spend my money how I want to spend it. So my mindset was limited when it comes on to budgeting once, right? Now it is in a different place, right? More financial freedom and more financially literate, right? So you don't have to feel like you are trapped because you're budgeting, right? Budgeting just helps to align and being intentional with your spending. So if you realize that you're spending too much on food, then you can shift this. You can shift to buying in bulk, as I mentioned. If you realize that your car note might be too expensive, maybe you went and you bought a new car. Now you can decide, okay, next time you learn from this mistake and you decide, okay, I'm going to buy a used car instead of buying a brand new car that will depreciate as you drive it off the lot, right? And if you realize that you have all these subscriptions, you have Netflix, you have, what are they? Let me know in the comments, right? You have Amazon Prime, Netflix, all these streaming services that you're not really using. Now is the time for you to say, you know what? I no longer need a subscription. Netflix alone is good. Amazon Prime videos is good. You might not need Disney Plus, right? And all the other extra ones. So that's how budgeting helps you to see what you need versus what you don't need, where you're spending versus where you prefer to spend or where you prefer to save. My advice for you is to every expense or every time you spend, you're going to ask yourself, is this worth delaying my home ownership goal? If not, cut it off because your goal is to buy your house. So if that spending too much on clothes shopping is jeopardizing your home buying goal, cut back on it. If you have too many subscriptions, cut back on it. And that's how your mindset is going to balance it out. And that's how you're going to be more proactive in managing your money because you know it's toward a specific goal. Got it? If you realize that there is still not enough money to set aside and to start saving for purchasing your first house, then think about starting a side hustle. And I just did a video about different side hustles that you can start to pay or to use to save for your down payment. You can go and check it out. I'll leave it somewhere up here. But side hustle is a great way of creating an additional stream of income, which you can leave that specifically for saving for your home. And I walk you through the different side hustles and how you're going to use it to save for your down payment. So go check out that video. But think about different ways of how you can create an additional stream of income. Because the more streams of income you have, the quicker you're going to reach your home ownership goal. And pro tip again, dedicate 100% of that side of the income towards your home ownership. Now, I'm not going to tell you anything else. Go and watch a video after watching this one. That's it for today, my friend. If you found this video helpful, please, I would appreciate if you give it a like. And if you haven't yet subscribed, please, I would invite for you to go subscribe right now. And while you're at it, also hit the notification bell. And I'm a real estate agent here in Hamilton, Ontario. If you need to go a step closer to purchasing your first home, please book your consultation call with me. I'll put it in the description here below, and go ahead and check out this video here of the steps you need to take to start preparing to buy your first home. See you in my next video. Bye for now.